Good morning, gamers! Cooper here again for another TF2 commentary tutorial. Today I'll be making another man vs. machine guide detailing the Heavy. I hope you find this guide informative and that it helps improve your performance in future games. Now the advice I'll be giving is my own opinion, which is a mix of my gameplay experiences and discussions I've had with other players. Now the first thing we're going to talk about are the loadouts. The Heavy is a class that has a fairly straightforward loadout. For your primary weapon, my top 3 recommendations are the Brass Beast, the default minigun, and the Hulong Heater. When it comes to your secondary weapon, I think your best option is the Sandwich, the Dakwalabar, the Family Business, or the default shotgun. Now I think the best melee option for the Heavy are the Gloves of Running Urgently. If you don't have the Gloves of Running Urgently, I'd recommend you use any melee weapon as long as it doesn't give an adverse effect like vulnerability or lower health. Since it's unlikely you'll want to enter close quarters combat, you can always play it safe and use the default melee weapon like I do. Now when I play as the Heavy, my loadout switches between using the Brass Beast and the default minigun. Now I do not use the Hulong Heater because my playing style doesn't benefit from the fire shield in the way that an assault Heavy might use it to deter melee scouts and spies. My secondary weapon is the Sandwich, and I use the default melee weapon for close quarters. The Brass Beast is great because of the extra damage output, and having reduced movement doesn't hurt the overall effectiveness of the Heavy. If, however, I want to change it up and give myself a bit more flexibility, I'll take the minigun. My recommendation is that you playtest the different guns and find out what works best for you. I like to use the Sandwich because I can use it to heal myself, or I can use it to heal allies as a pocket health kit. As I've mentioned already, I use the default melee weapon because I don't have the Gloves of Running Urgently. I do like the melee weapon because it doesn't confer any negative side effects, which is preferable for me since I never use melee weapons. Now that you have an idea about the good loadouts, let's take a look at class upgrades. Now the first thing we're going to touch on are character upgrades. Heavy upgrades can vary from map to map and will be affected by things like if the team has a medic. When I play as the Heavy, I do like to put some money into health regeneration and resistance if I find myself dying during the waves. A significant portion of my money goes towards upgrading my primary weapon. All of the upgrades for the minigun are very useful, whether you want projectile destruction to take on giants, projectile penetration to take on hordes of bots, knockback rage to stall the enemy advance, or any of the other character upgrades like increased ammo capacity, health on kill, and the increased firing speed. I don't spend any money upgrading my secondary weapon since the Sandwich is a situational tool, and I wouldn't recommend spending any money to upgrade your melee weapon. Now that we've addressed the loadouts and upgrades, let's touch on actually playing the Heavy. The Heavy's enhanced abilities and MVM give him the ability to make most of his weapons pierce multiple targets, shoot down projectiles, and generate rage which can be used to knock enemies back. Despite his varied abilities, the Heavy's responsibilities can be boiled down to 3 simple tasks. The Heavy's third most important task is to support allies and to ensure he doesn't die. Though the Sandwich can be used to heal your friends, the Heavy is not a class you want to use as a sacrificial lamb. The Heavy's long respawn time and slow movement make it that much more difficult to restore your team's offensive output. Heavy should try to live at all costs. Now the Heavy's second responsibility is to focus fire and to quickly kill giants and tanks. You'll be surprised how much faster they'll fall under the Heavy's fire. The Heavy's number 1 priority is to kill the robots. The Heavy can easily dispatch of robots that bunch up in packs. To make a comparative example, remember where the Pyro and Scout fight to harass, distract, and maim the robots, the Heavy should be actually killing them. Now for some quick strategies while playing as the Heavy, I recommend you always use an elevated position or cover, especially during the first wave since you should be able to bottleneck the robots. Make sure you're aware of your health and ammo at all times because it's not fun to play as the Heavy and run out of ammo mid-fight. You should beware support classes like the Sniper and the Spy, and call them out to your friends if you can't dispatch them. I recommend you actually tether yourself to a dispenser, or position yourself somewhere near health and ammo kits. Remember you can take a lot of damage and deal out a lot of damage, so don't be afraid to get into the fight. And always keep the minigun barrel spinning. Remember to use Rage because it can push the bomb back. And don't forget to destroy the projectiles because it'll drastically reduce the threat giants, demomen, and soldiers present to you and your team. And we'll conclude with some final notes. I do think the Heavy is a primary class. I think the Heavy's ability to take and deal out so much damage earns it a permanent seat on my fantasy MVM team, along with the Scout, the Engineer, and the Soldier. Admittingly, I don't think the Heavy is a class I enjoy playing, and I don't think there should ever be more than one Heavy on a team. Well, I hope you guys found this guide informative. Please put any other tips you have in the comment section, and please don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Happy hunting! I'll see you guys at 2 Fort.